Students, do you need to go ask for help from a teacher, but you're absolutely terrified and have no idea what to say? And educators, do you want to know a rock solid way to coach students how to advocate for themselves? Today, I've got some really awesome and actually kind of easy ideas for how to get yourself to get the conversation with a teacher started, students. And educators, stay to the end for an awesome script I'm going to give you to use in your coaching sessions. All right, y'all, let's dig in. Hi, everyone. My name is Gretchen Wagner. I am an academic skills expert. I don't know why I can't say that with my braces. Hi, everyone. My name is Gretchen Wagner, and I am an academic skills expert for both students and educators. I'm a teacher turned academic coach, and today I want to start this conversation about how to ask for help by looking at a list of things that I've noticed in all of my thousands and thousands of hours of one-to-one work with students. I've seen get in the way of students even noticing that they need help. So students, I'm curious, you identify with any of this? Does your mind spin, like you can't land on an idea? You just notice you're trying to do your homework or your schoolwork and you're just spinning. Or maybe you notice you're procrastinating a lot. You just can't get started, or you can't finish because you keep on your attention darts. Maybe you just feel kind of numb when you're doing your work, or you're working on it for hours and hours but not seeing any progress, right? You might feel anxious or depressed. You might also notice yourself masking, going,
"Yeah, I'm doing great, Mom and Dad. Yeah, I'm doing great, teacher."
But really you're feeling any of these other things. Or what else? There are other things that can happen that make you feel like crap about school. And really what you need is to not stay alone with it anymore. And really what you need is to reach out to someone to get some help. But you're feeling all of these things, so you don't even know what help you need. So the first thing I want to point out, the first skill in getting some help or support is what I call the notice-do loop. One side is notice, the other side is figure out what to do, right? So first you have to notice that you're feeling one of these things. And part of noticing is also naming, this is how I'm feeling. Then what do you do about it? That's what we're going to talk in the rest of this video. I have some exact suggestions for weird ways to get started with the help asking process that you might not have thought of before. All right, these first two ideas are not going to seem very practical, but I promise you they are. The first one is, how can you do a personal check-in with your teacher? And do this regularly, right? So ideally you wouldn't be doing this right when you've caught yourself spinning or masking or procrastinating, but you could do this once you've noticed then as well. So go into the class the next day, or even send an email if your teacher's email, or post on your school portal. It doesn't matter whether you do this live or virtual, but say something like, "Hi, Mr. X, how's your day going?" That's just a general question. An even better, more specific question would be something like, "Did you figure out what was wrong with your dog?" Because you remembered that Mr. X mentioned something about how their dog was sick, or something else personal, right? But checking in with the teacher about how that thing is going. Now, why am I suggesting this? Because how is that going to help you get stuck out of procrastination? I'll answer that question, but I've got a second one that might seem a little counterintuitive as well. Give a thank you to your teacher. Again, it's better if you get a regular habit of doing this throughout the school year, but it can also work when you're stressed. Might sound like, "Hi, Ms. Y, I really enjoyed the lecture today." That's kind of general. Or even more specific, "I appreciate that you took the time to find those hilarious pictures of blah, blah, blah that illustrated your point," or, whatever. Find something specific to say thank you to your teacher. So again, good to do that regularly, to have a habit of either doing thank yous or doing personal check-ins. But even if it's last minute and you're stuck, these are good, because one of the reasons that we don't ask for help or advocate for ourselves is we feel disconnected from the person who could help us. So getting ourselves into connection with that person too might make it easier for us to then, after you chit-chatted about the dog, to say, by the way, I notice I'm struggling. And then you can actually take it a step deeper. Or even if you don't that day, you might feel more connected to the teacher and more able to ask for help later. So I highly recommend both of these techniques. But what if you know you need help, but you don't know what help to ask for? I have another 2 suggestions for that. This first one, I'm just calling the honesty method, and that's just telling them exactly what's going on. Hi, Mr. Z, I'm having a hard time and I don't know what I need, right? That's the most honest thing you could say. Having a hard time, don't know what I need. Could you help me figure it out right now? So you don't have to know what you need. You just need to ask someone if they can help you figure out what you need, right? And most teachers, I think, would just be so happy that you're just even asking the question. So give that a try. The last one is my personal favorite that I use all the time as a teacher in my anti-boring learning lab, where I train educators how to do all of this academic skills coaching stuff. And it is the ramble. I'll give you an example first from your perspective, students. So, hi, Ms. A. Do you have 5 minutes? Could I just ramble to you about how this assignment is going so I can figure out what's next? Or you could even add, I'm having a hard time with the assignment. Could I just ramble to you about it? And then you literally would be like, okay, so I was sitting down last night and I had the book open and I was doing X, Y, and Z and my brain was foggy and I couldn't do da-da-da. And you just kind of walk them through that experience a little bit and then see what they have to do to help you. The way that I use this with my educators is that, here's what I noticed. When I sent out an email saying, what are your questions for the upcoming class or the upcoming training call? Nobody would ask questions. But when I said, just give me a ramble, how are you doing coaching your students around academic skills? Just ramble to me. Don't even sound good. I'd like to hear. Often I, the teacher, would notice the question that was in the middle there, and then I could answer that question. It's my favorite method, and people are happy to ramble when asked. So students, which one of these 4 methods do you think would be most helpful for you to get in the habit of? I would love to hear you post below. And also, are there other methods you have to make it a little easier to ask for help when you don't know what kind of help you need? I would love for you to add to my ideas. So please post below as well. Now, educators out there, I'm really excited about my tip for you today. This tip is going to come from the perspective of an academic coach or someone who has been able to spend some one-to-one time supporting a student who was frustrated. And it's one of my favorite things, speaking of that do notice loop, I don't know where that is anymore on my whiteboards, but it's to help students take a moment to notice what just happened. So the do comes before the notice in this infinity loop. And this is a script for how I might do this at the end of a session. So I might say something like, hey student, what I noticed today is that you started our time together feeling grumpy or feeling frustrated or feeling shut down or whatever the sad face is. But you ended up where you are now, which is some happy face word, right? Like you seem focused, you seem ready. We actually had a laugh. So I'm so curious, what did I do to help you make that shift? You could even ask, what did you do to help you make that shift? But the reason why I like to focus on me is because of this next question. Great. Oh, I walked you through what the next 5 steps are that you need to take that feel doable. Oh, interesting. So how could you ask your teacher to do that for you next time? What might you ask your teacher so that they can do this thing? Clearly, breaking things down into chunks or steps is helpful for you. How can you ask your teacher? What's the script you can ask them? And then I might even build that into what I call their habits and grades graph. There's a micro-credential for that inside my anti-boring learning lab that you educators can learn how to do. But for now, I would love to have you try this notice or this do notice loop and do something with students and then notice about it to help them practice some metacognition about their learning, about what helps them shift states, and most importantly, how to advocate with other people who are more powerful or more skilled than they are, and a teacher is that, how to advocate with them so that students can get exactly what they need in order to shift that state. If you would like more tips and tricks about how to be an academic skills coach, regardless of whether you're one-to-one with students or a classroom teacher, I have those available at gretchenwegner.com/secrets, my secrets to unlocking student learning. So go grab that, totally free. Also, like and subscribe this video if there was something of value for you here, please, and thank you. And I will see you in the next video.